Hey there, Aniki Shuru here, racial equity coach for online business owners who are ready to build a business that's racially equitable so they can be intentionally inclusive. Now, today's lesson is around the question, where are you from originally? Or where are you from really? Now, that's a question that a lot of people of color get asked by white folks. And whilst asking that question may not seem like it has any particular impact or is harmful, it is. And that's what I want us to dig into today and offer you some alternative kind of questions that you can ask once you understand what that does to a lot of people of color and how you can reframe that. Because asking that question is actually a microaggression. Asking somebody, where are you from? And if they give you an answer that doesn't quite sit with where you are placing them, then you are asking them, no, really, no, originally. In fact, there was once I read somewhere where somebody was asked, where are you from? And they said, potentially say Australian. They're like, no. Where is your black from? Your particular skin color tone, where is it from? And that was incredibly prejudiced, even racist. And so asking this question is classified as a microaggression. So what is a microaggression? Microaggression is a subtle, indirect, or unintentional form of discrimination or bias against a particular group of people. It often leaves one feeling embarrassed or humiliated. Now, I want you to kind of sit back and think, is there a time you have used this kind of question? And what was the intention behind it? And potentially the intention was one where it was good. It was potentially to be an icebreaker. You're trying to, generate a conversation here that will allow you to get to know the person better. And so you're using this as an icebreaker. But often that icebreaker changes from being what it was intended to being a little bit of an interrogation. It's like, tell me about your family history and your family tree in order for me to place you and where you come from. And that's where the harm comes from. See, I've called Australia home for over 20 years now. And when I first came, being asked that question, I didn't think twice about it. I was very quick to say that I was from Kenya. But after 20 years of being asked the same question, one begins to feel not only exhausted about having to answer that, but the fact that there's this constant idea of somebody who looks like me does not belong here. Somebody who speaks like me is not from here. You must be from somewhere else. And I want to know where that somewhere else is because I'm so incredibly curious to place you and where you are from and what may have brought you to this side of the world. And whilst the curiosity may be from a good place, it is important to think, how does that make the other person feel? Because if it makes them feel like they don't belong, if it makes them feel humiliated, if it leaves them feeling embarrassed, then asking that question is causing harm. What are other questions that we can ask that would allow us to have a more engaging, more fruitful conversation? And so it's being able to kind of switch things and asking, how is your day going? How are you? That's a question that we take for granted. We don't often ask. We don't even wait for the response. But how are you? What plans do you have for the rest of the day? What's bringing you joy? And a lot of times asking these questions may come from a place of you obviously need to know somebody a little bit deeper before you can ask some of these questions because they can be quite personal. But one of the questions that I read recently that has really brought a lot of excitement to the power of asking questions is, what has opened your heart recently? And this is just the beauty of bringing a genuine interest in wanting to know about the other person that doesn't necessarily revolve around where they're from, how they look like, why they're here. It's simply to do with their well-being. And so take the time to pause and really reflect on, do you ask that question? Where is this coming from? And now that you know how this makes people of color feel, what picture this paints for them, and how it leaves them feeling, take the time to consider, what other way might I be able to break the ice so that I am not interrogating, but I am actually genuinely wanting to know about the well-being of this person.